A single rating is my only problem. Trying to evaluate a school with a number is nothing but nonsense as far as I'm concerned. It is a disavowal of the humanity of the people. It's disavowing their humanity by saying, I'm going to rank you with a number. If my number is lower, am I less because you've identified me as so, or are there a number of factors that you could do it? And I'm also perplexed by the notion that Ms. Goldberg put forward. Why are people coming up here, and this is a rhetorical question, and saying we're withholding information? She's not done that. I don't have to defend her. She can do it herself. We've never intended for that to do that. But I've read some of the stuff that's being written by some of the publications that support an attack on the district, and one of them, and it's from this group called EdSource, and it says, timing is especially crucial. Everyone benefits knowing how schools perform. These data can be particularly valuable to families in poor areas where few schools do well in the available rating systems. Armed only with current data, the parents can't see which schools could help their children learn the most. This is vital in a system where 6 of 10 students are not performing. So they set you up and then say, there's no reason for such important data to be quarantined in Los Angeles Unified Schools. That's not true. There are 6 school districts that send their data, and we're one of them. 4, 5, I'm sorry, there are 8 school districts. I'm going to read them to you. Fresno, LA Unified, Garden Grove, Long Beach, Oakland, Sacramento City, San Francisco Unified, and Santa Ana Unified, to this group called CORE, which takes the information and then releases it. CORE has not yet released the data growth. The growth, which is said is being quarantined. It's not Unified doing that. And I don't have any problem with releasing data. I think the more data you have, the more you understand. We've had parents come down here, and I will say with due respect, encouraged to come down and say, it's too complicated for us. That's what they said, in English and Spanish. It's too complicated for us. We need to know something real specific. It's unfair to us to make it complicated. We have right now a document that used to be used, which is no longer in place, called the Performance Meter Data Summary Sheet. This is what it looks like. We passed it out to the board members. There's everything you ever wanted to know about a school, except that it's been changed because we no longer give the same test that we used to give. But all the data's on it. We used to pass this out all the time and send it home to the parents. It told you about the school, your school, and any other school you wanted to know. I'm holding it up here. I know you can't read this, but this is a copy of, and the board members have it. We can send this out again. I don't have a problem with parents knowing. I don't think any of us do. But this notion that we're withholding information is a befuddlement to me. And I know it is to Ms. Goldberg, who put the resolution in. I'm still listening. Why do they come up here and say it's unfair to withhold information from us? We're doing just the opposite. At least I thought we were. When I opposed it the last time, I was the only one, which surprised me, that said a ranking number is insufficient and should not be used. I was outvoted, 5-1, 5-1. It shocked me. On the other hand, now that we've had a chance to think about it, maybe we realize that the parents do need this data. And the parents don't have to be encouraged to come and say, it's too complicated for us. And we need it, reduced to a number. All the number does is allow you, with no information, to compare one school to another. And then, with all due respect, this is not with due respect. This is flat out the way I believe. Then other people can come in and say, you see the number, you see the ranking that your school has? It can't get any lower than that. Come over here. Come on over here. We're going to do you a favor. We're going to enroll you in our school. And we come after you because we know you're unhappy with this ranking. And so you start looking. I've said this more than once. People, human beings, everybody knows what they don't like much more than what they do like. We're not sure about what we do like, but we know what we don't like. And we don't like the shoes that we're wearing, we're looking for another pair of shoes. When we don't like the car that we're driving, we're looking for another vehicle. When we don't like the school that we're in, we're looking for another school. Whether we can afford it or not, we're looking because we're unhappy. So if we have enough ways to make you unhappy with the school you're in, you will look elsewhere. And sometimes the grass looks green on the other side of the fence, and all you had to do was water your own grass. But you got persuaded. And so here we are. I'm going to vote for it because I know what its intention is. If it's misunderstood, it's up to us to help you understand that we're not trying to, at least I'm not trying to. I don't think Ms. Goldberg is either. To deceive you, mislead you, withhold information from you. And if you say it's too complicated, then read it a second time and a third time. I studied mathematics. That's complicated. I didn't get everything the first time. I had to keep reading it until it made sense to me. Very few people can read something the first time and get it the first time. I'm a pretty good reader. I'm a pretty good statistician. But I have to read something sometimes 2, 3 times before I get it. And then if I don't understand it, ask somebody. Another secret, when I was studying math, when I couldn't figure it out on my own, if the answer was in the back of the book, I looked for the answer in the back of the book and tried to work backwards to say, oh, that's how they got it. Now I know what the answer is. Because all I've been doing here is going around in circles, and I don't know if I got the right answer or not. When the answer is there, I said, the answer is square root of 7 minus 2. So then I work my way back, and I can get the answer. I wasn't cheating. I was just doing my homework and trying to figure out how to work these problems. So don't be afraid of the data, and don't believe that we are trying to withhold the data from you. So I'm going to vote for this. I hope that we can, as a board, work together to do whatever we need to do to make it palatable, understandable, simplified to the extent we can. This core group, which is it's located in Sacramento, at some point they'll release the data. Until they do, you can come down here and tell us we haven't released the data. We don't have it. We report it to them, and they bring it out and report it to the community. And it's all documented. So what we do have, we will report, and I think that's what the intent is. So I appreciate Ms. Goldberg putting it out there. I don't need to ask the response to the resolution. I'm going to vote for it. But I was opposed the first time it came out when it talked about a single number ranking. That's not what we should be doing to schools. We shouldn't be ranking schools at all. We should be improving schools. We should be putting out data around schools and let the parents take a look at it. Then help us, especially if we're not going to resource differently the underperforming schools. We know who the underperforming schools are. They've been in the same place for decades, in the same neighborhoods. It's not a surprise. So unless we're willing to put money there, what are we talking about giving them a number, like a restaurant? What we need to do is improve it so that they're all exceptional. So the only choice you need is how do I get to my school in my neighborhood, because that's the best school I can find. I don't have to look someplace else and chase some other people around to find a better quality education. Thank you.